sharing good news. I know a lot has been happening in the astrology over the last several months. There's been a lot of changes in our lives, in the world. I'm coming back with a video that is going to give you hope in the future. And this transit that I'm going to be talking about that will help you manifest something that you've been working on. You could have started working on this several years ago, 14 years ago, or 29 and a half years ago when Saturn went into Pisces. These are all Saturn periods. And for some of you, it could have been as early as 2023. I'm going to encourage you to listen to the entire introduction because I'm not going to repeat all this information in the ascendant readings. So in order to get the full benefit of this video, please listen to the entire introduction. On September 1st, 2025, Saturn went retrograde into Pisces. He's going back into Pisces to close out old karmas. He's giving you a chance to redo your homework in this area before he permanently enters into the sign of Aries in February 2026. So this is your last chance to close old karmas, redo things, forgive people, perhaps forgive yourself, before entering into a new phase when Saturn enters in the sign of Aries. Saturn is the Lord of Karma. He is going to reward you according to your deeds. You're going to reap what you have sown. Saturn gives his biggest gifts when he exits the sign of Pisces. Some of you will be manifesting your dreams. That will be magically made possible because of the Jupiter-Saturn trine. Jupiter expands whatever it touches and Saturn makes it real. It's truly magical when these two outer planets make this harmonious trine, especially in these houses. Hello YouTube, my name is Rachel Mayo. Welcome to my channel and thank you for being here. If you're new to my channel and you've not yet hit subscribe, please subscribe now. And for my older subscribers who have stayed subscribed, thank you so much. I know I've been missing in action for several months, and that is because the South Node is currently transiting my 11th house, and Saturn is currently transiting in my 5th house. So I've been basically attending to my paying customers. I have a few clients that I see weekly for counseling sessions. My schedule has opened up a bit, so I'm going to be able to do a few more YouTube videos. And as a gift to my loyal subscribers and new subscribers, I have a special $30 off discount code for all readings. You can use this discount code for 2 separate readings. The code is AstroRay and it will give you $30 off of 2 readings. So book now is for a limited time. I'm going to continue running the free solar return reading contest. All you have to do is subscribe to my channel, like this video, please share this video so that I can get back into the algorithm, and comment free solar below this video. You must be subscribed to my channel in order to win this competition. I'm also giving a free hour of readings to those customers that have bought 6-hour packages with me. And for those clients that see me on a weekly basis, you're going to get 2 extra hours added to your package. That's 8 hours in sessions with me for the same price. If you want more information about my services, go to rachel-mayo.com. All you have to do to understand how powerful this transit is look back to what happened in your life 29 and a half years ago, if you're old enough to remember. And if you were just born around that time, you may ask your parents what was going on in their lives and how it affected you. Saturn is the taskmaster, he's the headmaster, who encourages you to work hard in your life, do your homework, attend school, and be resilient, and just do the work, because Saturn always gives you the greatest gift when he exits the sign of Pisces. And this is because Saturn has been there watching you through his past transits, through all the other houses, Aries to Pisces. Pisces is the last sign of the zodiac. This is your final exam. This is your graduation. You're either going to get a pass, a certificate, a degree, or a fail. Saturn is going to reward you according to what you sowed. You reap what you sow. Saturn is the Lord of Karma. Saturn will not be back here for another 29 and a half years. This is our final chance to close old karmas. Saturn is going to retrograde all the way back to about 25 degrees of Pisces. And 25 degrees is a very potent degree because I believe there was an eclipse at this degree last September. So we may be revisiting some issues that may have happened then. These old karmas that you may be closing could be generational karmas. Jupiter rules the sign of Pisces, where Saturn is currently transiting. Cancer is where Jupiter is currently transiting, and he's exalted there. So Jupiter is the one who's giving instructions to Saturn. He's telling him what to do while he also blesses you abundantly in the sign of Cancer. I believe this magical trine will make your dreams come true. He will give you what you want. Unlike when Jupiter was transiting in the sign of Gemini, he was debilitated in this sign and was actually squaring Saturn. So this was a challenging transit. Now that Jupiter is in Cancer and Saturn is retrograding back into Pisces, the magic begins. The last time this trine aspect happened was in 1994 when Jupiter was transiting the sign of Scorpio, my ascendant sign, and Saturn was transiting the sign of Pisces. Is part of my 4th house and my 5th house if we have to look at Placidus system, and I'll tell you how it actually made sense for me using Placidus. But you're free to use the whole sign system if you like. North Node was transiting in Taurus where my moon is. This transit was truly magical for me. It gave me a home abroad, which is still my home. And the other time was in 2007. This trine happened in the fire signs, and the North Node was transiting in the sign of Pisces. That was when I suddenly got married. Expect big things. Where are these two planets transiting in your chart? What do they have in store for you? The best way to find out what is going to happen for you, what is going to truly manifest for you, is by getting a professional astrology reading. And as I said earlier, I'm offering $30 off most of my readings. Book now. This Jupiter-Saturn trine transit is setting your life up for the next 30 years. Trust and believe me when I tell you this is a very potent transit. I'm not a Vedic astrologer, but most Vedic astrologers look forward to this transit because this is the transit that makes our dreams come true. It makes things real. It makes things happen. You need Jupiter and Saturn in a trine aspect for things to manifest, for things to become real. Jupiter expands wherever it touches. Saturn makes it real. The trine aspect is not going to be exact this year. They're going to come within 1 degree of each other. However, it doesn't mean that they have to be exactly trine in order for you to manifest something. Because when I had my manifestations, they were not exactly trine. However, they were also making really potent aspects to other planets in my natal chart. Also keep in mind that this trine aspect can also happen with transiting Jupiter trining your natal Saturn, or transiting Saturn trining your natal Jupiter. So there are a lot of possibilities. It's not limited to only this time when they're trining each other by outer transits. This is why you always have to know what's really going on in your own natal birth chart and the degrees in your birth chart. The Jupiter-Saturn trine tightens in late October to November 2025. And the degrees are between 24 degrees and 25 degrees. They're going to be 1 degree apart this year. This is very potent. And that's with Jupiter at 24 degrees of Cancer and Saturn at 25 degrees of Pisces. Remember, this degree is very potent because it is an eclipse degree. Saturn will be activating an eclipse that happened last September. The Jupiter-Saturn trine does not perfect. These outer karmic planets are going to be within 2 degrees of each other from October 20th to December 16th, and within 1 degree from October 29 to November 23rd. So if you were born around this time, you're going to have a spectacular solar return chart. And if you have not booked a solar return chart reading with me, this is an excellent time for you to book a reading with me. So let's look at what Pisces rules in the zodiac. Pisces is the 12th house of the zodiac. This is where things come to end and die. This is also the area of our generational karma. What is generational karma? This is karma that you did not create. This is karma that is passed down to you from generation to generation. Some of you are probably paying for the sins of your fathers, past generations. This is also a spiritual house where we just have belief that certain things exist, like aliens, guardian angels, God. It's a house of spirituality. This is the house that is also ruled by Neptune, the Lord of the Seas. So we can also expect massive weather changes or unexpected events. Neptune also rules over film, delusions, and fantasies. It also basically rules over imagination and creativity. Before anything is manifested, before we make it real, we have to possibly dream about it, imagine about it, and then make it real. So the 12th house also rules over rest and dreams. This house rules over all the things that we do behind closed doors. Some of these things could be positive or they could be negative. This is the area where we also self-sabotage through doing drugs or drinking too much or having inappropriate affairs or relationships with people who are not available. This is also the house that rules over our hidden enemies. And remember, our greatest hidden enemy could be ourselves through self-delusion and self-sabotage. Cancer is the ruler of the 4th house in the zodiac. This house rules over our deepest emotions. This is another karmic house as it also rules over past generations in our family, especially the side of the mother. Cancer is the parental axis, the past generations of your family that are more intimate and nurturing. The 4th house rules over our home, our family, our mother, our deep resentments, those feelings that you have against perhaps your mother or your family or your past generations. This is the house where we are most vulnerable. It is at the bottom of your chart. So whatever you're manifesting is going to have a combination of what these two signs rule in your chart. So there could be a lot of karmic and emotional endings, because this is also another house where things come to end. This house also rules over our homeland, the country where we were born. So essentially this means that some people could be having major home changes. Some people could be moving back to their birth countries or moving away from their birth country to another land. Another reason why this is a year of major endings is because it's universal year number 9. And so was 2007. So for reference, when it comes to numerology, you can also look at what happened in 2009. And also because the North Node was transiting in the sign of Pisces. That means that some of the eclipses that we're having in this axis are going to end things that started 18.5 years ago, because this was the last time the karmic nodes were in the sign of Pisces. You'll be concluding karmas that may have begun in 2007. And for example, I concluded something that was going on in the background that started in 2007 when I got married. Some 8th house inheritance issues were finally concluded this year, 18.5 years later. Transit of the karmic nodes are not to be underestimated. They bring karma, they begin karma, and they also conclude karma. So what is concluding in your chart? And what is the trine of Jupiter and Saturn manifesting in your birth chart? Back to number 9, universal number 9 year. Universal year number 9. 9 is a number of endings and conclusions. We are going to have massive endings as mankind, because universal means that it affects everyone. However, it's going to affect you a little bit differently according to your numerology. I've done a few videos if you want to go back and look at them to find out how it's affecting you personally. They're there for your reference. The month of September is the 9th month of the year, also signaling endings, and the eclipses are also happening this month. So that means that the eclipses have already brought into our lives the things that are about to conclude, major chapters. The eclipses will give you a sign what they're doing in your chart a month before or a month after. And for people who are getting an exact hit, will know what the eclipses are bringing pretty much almost right away, because it's really speaking to that planet that is conjuncting. And as you all know, when something is ending, it usually ends a while before the final cutoff comes. If it's a relationship, the eclipse could have given you a message subconsciously, perhaps 2 months ago, a month ago. So essentially that relationship or that job really ended 2 months ago, and then you finally get the message a little bit later on. Things decay and die before the final, before their final death. And when eclipses end something in your life, it ends for good. It's been eclipsed out. So if it was a relationship that ended, I'm just going to tell you to just let that relationship go, because that person is not coming back. So save your dignity and just move on. Perhaps the solar eclipse that's coming is going to bring an opening for a new person to enter into your life, a new job, a new beginning. There's another connection to the theory of endings, completions, is also because the next eclipse that we're going to have on the 21st of September is going to be at the anaretic degree of 29 degrees of Virgo. This is a critical degree, and this eclipse is going to be on the south node of letting go. So wherever you were holding on from this previous eclipse that you thought you could salvage, by the time this eclipse comes around, you're going to realize that you really truly just have to let it go, or it's going to just be taken out of your life. It's going to be eclipsed out of your life. Solar eclipses can be truly powerful, and the last time we had an eclipse at this degree, I believe, was again in 2007 in September. There was an eclipse at 29 degrees of Virgo, and for me that was a confirmation that I was truly a married woman. I know this was a long time ago, but clearly some of you who were truly impacted by these eclipses, by these degrees, you're definitely going to remember what happened in your life in September 2007, if you're old enough to remember. The lunar eclipses conclude old issues. Solar eclipses bring something new. And we will be moving into the month of October, which adds up to 10 or 1. So essentially that means some of us will be getting an idea what is going to be new in our lives in the area of the eclipses. So solar eclipses always bring new beginnings. Next year, 2026, adds up to year number 1. This is a year of new beginnings. All of mankind is going to have a major new beginning. We're all going to be starting a major new chapter here on earth after all these conclusions that we're having this year. So allow the universe to sweep out whatever needs to go. You have no control here. The house of Pisces, the sign of Pisces is the 12th house. This is where we just have to trust and believe. This is the area where we are blind. This is the area where we need someone to help us see. So whatever is going to happen was meant to happen. It was destined to happen. Trust that there will be a brand new beginning for everyone next year. Another reason why October is going to be also really potent for new beginnings is because in October we move into the sign of Scorpio. Scorpio is a natural 8th house of the zodiac. This is also another house of death and transformation. The past 3 months have been epic. They're setting us up for what is to come at the end of the year, where most of us are going to have a truly magical transformation and manifestation. As I said, if you'd like to know where this is happening in your chart, you can book a reading with me at rachel-mayo.com. So which signs are going to be affected most by this magical trine aspect between Saturn and Jupiter? Of course, it's the mutable signs. The mutable signs are Gemini, Sagittarius, Virgo, and Pisces. Of course, Pisces, you're going to be affected the most because you have the transiting north node in your sign, and you also have Saturn in your sign. So you are probably going to feel this most intensely. And the sign of Virgo is also going to feel this intensely because this is where the South Node is. The planets that are transiting Pisces are going to be opposing you. So you're going to be feeling like people are opposing you. The sign of Gemini and Sagittarius are also going to be affected intensely. They're going to have a square aspect. A square aspect is one of the most challenging aspects in astrology, and it's going to push you into taking action. And perhaps you need a push in order to make some tough decisions and in order to take action. So expect to be challenged. The water signs are going to have the best aspect because they're going to be experiencing the trine aspect, especially the sign of Cancer, where Jupiter is currently transiting. You're already being blessed by Jupiter's abundance and expansion. The sign of Scorpio is going to receive the most magical aspect, especially if you have anything between say 23 and 29 degrees of Scorpio. This is because you're going to have what we call a grand trine. You're going to be experiencing a grand water trine. So things are just going to happen magically for you. Anything and everything that the universe has for you, things that are destined to be yours in this lifetime, you're going to have manifestation of those things. This is a really powerful transit for us. The other signs who are going to be impacted very positively are the earth signs. The earth signs are Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. Virgo will be receiving the opposition, so they have to deal with others. However, the sign of Taurus and Capricorn are going to have what we call a sextile aspect. This is a harmonious aspect. However, sextile aspect requires you to take action. It requires you to do something. Otherwise, this energy just dissipates. So look for opportunities and take action. If you were born on October 20th, when this trine is actually very potent and is activated, you are going to have an amazing solar return chart. I'm going to encourage you to book a reading with me because this is the year that your life is about to change. So it's important to know where these two houses are going to fall in your solar return chart reading. Aries, Sun, Moon, and Ascendant. Saturn is retrograding in the sign of Pisces, your 12th house. This is where he's completing old karmas before he goes back into the sign of Aries to begin a new 29-and-a-half-year-old cycle. Aries, if you've not listened to the introduction of this video, I suggest that you go back and listen to the whole introduction. You are, after all, the first sign of the zodiac, so the introduction always pertains to you. Jupiter is currently transiting your 4th house. This is a very, very vulnerable placement. It is where we are most vulnerable, we feel exposed. So the issues that these two planets are addressing has to do with your ancestry, your family, and your past generations, generational karma, which I talked about at length in the introduction. So whatever is going to be manifested is something that is really meant for you to happen in this lifetime, and you're probably going to be getting help from your ancestors or dealing with generational karma, ending generational karmas. At this time, people tend to have endings in their family line. People tend to pass on to the other side. For others, the manifestation could be the ending and the releasing of things that have weighed you down. If you've been living this lifetime feeling like you're here to repent or pay for the sins of your forefathers, this obligation to your past generations will be released. So pay attention to your dreams, your feelings. If you have resentments towards your family line and past ancestors on your mother's side, or perhaps even your father's side, this is an opening for you to release those resentments. It's an excellent time for you to go and get some help. If you need help, go for some therapy and talk about your feelings, or talk about your feelings with your family or your other relatives. The 12th house also rules far off places like foreign lands, And since the other place of homeland, the fourth house, is also activated, you are one of the other signs that could manifest a new home in a foreign land. This is exactly the trine aspect I was experiencing when I moved to a foreign country. And when Saturn gives you something, it stays in your life for a very long time, at least 30 years, 14 years, and at the very minimum 7 years. Aries, you are one of the signs that are going to be highly impacted whether you have anything at the activated degrees or not, simply because you are the order of the zodiac. You are the sign that is going to be leading the new era when Saturn permanently moves back into the sign of Aries. So this is epic. You could move to a foreign country. Some of you will sell an old family home. Some of you will finally cut off or heal your self-sabotaging habits. If you have a drug problem, mental problem, you're going to get help that is finally going to make sense to you. This is an excellent time for you to go into rehab and release your self-sabotaging habits like drinking or doing drugs. For those that have been trapped in bad relationships, like you're just attracting the same person over again, trying to learn or relearn the same lesson, this could be the time that you release that karmic tie to your past generations of repeating certain karmas in this lifetime. Aries, this is an excellent time for you to seek help with a counselor, a psychologist, an astrologer, perhaps even a tarot reader. This is also an excellent time for some of you to become one of those things. You could become a professional in any of those things that I mentioned. If this is you, this trine aspect is opening a window for you to make this a reality. If you'd like more information about how this aspect is aspecting your own natal birth chart, I suggest that you book a reading with me. You should not miss an opportunity to find out what this transit is going to manifest in your life. I have a 30% off discount coupon that you can use on 2 separate readings. This is a limited time offer. Book now. Taurus ascendant Sun or Moon. Saturn is retrograding in your 11th house. This is where you're concluding old karmas and manifesting something that you've been working on for many years. Saturn will continue into your 2nd house, the sign of Aries. This is the area where you're going to begin anew. The 11th house is a fortunate and happy house because it rules over our hopes, dreams, and wishes. This is where we receive the accolades, the promotions, recognition from our peers. And this is so because the 11th house rewards all the work that we did. You've earned whatever is coming to you. This is the time to reap what you have sown. And this is going to manifest through the groups that you belong to. Your friends, your uncles, your aunties, and perhaps a benefactor is going to show up in your life to help you to achieve something that is really important to you, something that you've been working on for a very long time. Perhaps this person is going to bring ideas or financing for that project. For some of you that have been casually dating someone, perhaps a friend or somebody who you met online, this is the time that this relationship could manifest and change into something much more permanent. Things like situationships, friends with benefits could change into something much more, or you could end up doing something that is going to be very impactful in your life with any one of those people that I mentioned. But most of all, the 11th house is the house that delivers the things that we've been working on. So some of you will manifest your dreams into reality. A Taurus is an earth sign, so this means that you're working with the sextile aspect, and the sextile aspect is going to bring you opportunities from your immediate environment, perhaps from your immediate environment, a younger sibling, a neighbor, or something that is within your neighborhood. This is where Jupiter is transiting and expanding this area. So these people, the people that are ruled by this house, are the people who you should be looking towards to work with or for opportunities. The trine aspect is between your 11th house and your 3rd house. So look to these houses to manifest something. Taurus is also experienced Uranus retrograding in their sign. So this is also aspecting this trine aspect. Taurus is going to receive a lot of help, and you can only know how all of this is aspecting you by getting a professional astrology reading. So if you want to know how this is going to affect you according to your natal placement, I suggest that you take advantage of the discounted readings that I'm offering. Gemini ascendant, sun or moon. Saturn is retrograding in your 10th house. This is the area where you're completing old karmas, and you're going to begin anew when Saturn enters your 11th house. The 10th house is an angle house, and whenever we have an angle house activation, this means that the energies are working to really change your life, and these energies are bringing a challenging aspect which is called a square aspect. This aspect is going to push you into taking action, and perhaps this is exactly what you need, especially if you've been procrastinating on making some tough decisions. This is going to bring everything to the fore. The 10th house is a public house. This is an area when things happen, it's inevitable that everybody knows about it. Everybody is going to see what's going on in this area, and this is why it's called a public house. It rules over our career, what we do for a living. You don't exactly have to be working. You could be retired, but you're known for something when you go out to the world. Perhaps it's your marital status. There could be a change there, and perhaps for some other people this will come through the government authority figures, while others can have a change in their marital status. There could be, you could go from single to married, married by necessity. Something could be happening in your partner's life or in your life, and you need to get married in order to benefit from something or make certain things happen. Or perhaps your partner gets pregnant and you don't want to have a child out of wedlock, and you decide to get married. And for others, their status could change from married to divorced or married to widowed. All those are things that the public gets to know about because an announcement is made when those things happen, good or bad. If you've been looking to change a career or perhaps open your own business, this is an excellent transit for you to take action on your dreams, make things happen through your own effort. Jupiter is currently transiting your 2nd house. The 2nd house rules over our earning ability. This area rules over the family that we make with another person, like a lover, a spouse, or in some other cases, it could be those friends that have been in our lives for a very long time that we begin to consider them family. This area rules over the things that you love and value, our family, our money, and our ability to make that money. This area also rules over the face. It rules over the mouth, what you say, what you put in your mouth, and what comes out of your mouth. So your speech is going to be very important. Perhaps some of you are going to be pushed into a speaking role, a public speaking role, if we consider the 10th house, and it's going to take a lot of effort and courage for you to do this, but it could potentially bring you a lot of financial rewards. And perhaps some of you are going to have a new start in a career that involves public dealing with the public somehow. Perhaps you're going to become a politician, perhaps you're running for office. This is an excellent transit for you to pursue that kind of ambition, because it's going to require a lot of effort and perhaps a lot of challenges as well. But this is something that the universe is saying you can do this. Gemini is ruled by Mercury, the ruler of the transiting south node. Perhaps there's some things that you're going to consciously need to let go of in your Virgo area of your chart. Gemini, I wish I could tell you more, but all these things affect our charts differently and individually, because I don't know what your placements are and what else Jupiter and Saturn could be doing in your chart. So if you'd like to find out how this is going to affect you personally, I suggest that you take advantage of the special discounts that I'm offering on the readings. $30 off 2 readings. You can use the discount code twice. Cancer ascendant, sun or moon. Saturn is retrograding into the sign of Pisces, your 9th house. This is the area where you're completing old karmas and you're going to begin anew in the sign of Aries, your 10th house. Cancer, you are a water sign. This is a very, very spiritual and blessed transit that you're experiencing. It happens very rarely, every 29.5 years, at least in these signs. And you're also getting the special transit of Jupiter conjunct your ascendant, sun or moon. This is also special, so you're getting double the blessings. Jupiter expands everything it touches. Hopefully it's not expanding you in a negative way, as in you're gaining a lot of weight, and perhaps you're gaining a lot of weight because you're pregnant. The other way to use this Jupiter in your first house positively and expand positively is by lifting weights, grow your muscles, let Jupiter expand your muscles so that you can burn more fat. Jupiter tends to make you fat when it's transiting the first house, so please watch your eating and exercise habits. Saturn is going to bless you in the area of your 9th house. The 9th house is also a Jupiterian house. It rules over our future and is also a lucky house. So you could potentially manifest a lot. Your whole life could change, your future could change. You're working on who you are, how you want people in the official areas to see you. Perhaps you're trying to get a diploma, a degree, or a license of some sort. Some of you could manifest citizenship, especially if you've been working on this for several years, 14 years, hey, for some even 30 years. Jupiter and Saturn are going to make things happen. They're going to help you manifest the citizenship, the green card, the degree, the diploma, anything that needs to be legalized, because the 9th house is where we legalize things. This house rules over judges, attorneys, law and order. It also rules over higher education. Other thing it rules is our belief system, our higher belief system that is passed down to us. Some of you could manifest becoming a priest or a professor. Whatever you manifest in this area will change the whole trajectory of your life, your future. Jupiter is giving you the power and the confidence to conclude all these old karmas, whether it's with people, an institute, or perhaps something in a foreign land or far off places, because the 9th house also covers that. And like I said, Jupiter is transiting your sign, Cancer. He's exalted in this sign. He's here to bless you abundantly. He's here to give you what you want. Give you what you want, what is due to you. You're going to reap what you've sown. And because this is a blessed transit, with you, Cancer, directing Jupiter, because you rule the sign of Pisces, where Saturn is currently transiting from, you have a lot of power, a lot of say in how things go down and what you manifest. It's a great opportunity to make your dreams come true, and you have to start working and pushing towards that achievement. Before this transit starts to tighten up, the hard work begins now, or you continue the hard work now. Cancer, if you'd like to know how this transit is going to affect you according to your own natal birth chart, I suggest that you take advantage of the special discount. This is a limited time offer. Book now. Leo ascendant, sun and moon. Saturn is concluding old karmas in your 8th house. This is where you're going to manifest something that you've been working on for many years. Saturn is going to move into Aries, your 9th house. This is the area where you're going to begin anew sometime in February of 2026. Jupiter is currently transiting your 12th house. The 12th house is a very dark house. This is where we need guidance to see what is going on. It's a spiritual house. If you want to know more about the 12th house, I suggest that you go and listen to the introduction of this video, because this is where I talk a little bit at length about what the 12th house rules in the zodiac. So you can get more information from the introduction. The 8th house is another karmic house. This house rules over hidden things, things that we possibly even hide from ourselves. other people's secrets, our own secrets that we don't tell anyone, perhaps we don't even allow ourselves to accept that these secrets did actually happen in our lives. So perhaps this will be a very deep and psychological transit for you, because a lot of revelations are going to come about. The eighth house also rules over other people's money, death, sex, and transformation. It also rules over intimate, deep bonded relationships. This is house of sex and deep intimacy, making it the house of shared resources. So if you're cohabitating with someone, your relationship and the things that you own individually in the relationship are going to be highlighted. This is also the house of other people's money and earned income. We get this income through inheritances, financial windfalls, lottery wins, or perhaps a big tax break. So some of you could manifest anything in one of those areas. And since the eighth house rules over death, endings, and transformation, unfortunately, some of you are going to experience deaths in the family, and out of those deaths, something good could come out, like an inheritance, which could possibly help some of you begin a whole new life, a whole new way of living. Your life is going to go through a major transformation where you're probably not going to recognize who you are when Saturn moves into the sign of Aries. A whole brand new future is going to begin. Jupiter is currently transiting in the sign of Cancer, which is your 12th house. When Jupiter transits the 12th house in the chart, it blesses you behind the scenes. It gives you protection, especially if you are living in a foreign land. It also brings protection against your hidden enemies, enemies that we may not know about, or perhaps we are our own enemy through our self-sabotaging habits. So the blessing of Jupiter here is not so tangible, but it's going to bring you protection. This area also rules over hidden places like hospitals and prisons. So for some of you that may find themselves in these situations, Jupiter is going to bring you some type of protection or some type of angelic guidance to the other realm. Who knows what's really going on in your individual chart? And this is why getting a professional astrology reading is really important, because I cannot tell what Jupiter and Saturn are aspecting in your natal birth chart. I suggest that you take advantage of the special discount, $30 off of at least 2 readings. It's a limited time offer. Book now. This is one of the biggest life-changing transits that you're ever going to have in your life, Leo, because 2 very karmic houses in your charts are being activated, and I cannot tell if it's being activated positively. And since these 2 houses are very karmic and cover a lot of aspects or things in our life, it's very difficult for me to just give you a reading on YouTube to tell you what's going to transpire in your life. Take advantage of the discounts. Book now. Virgo ascendant, sun or moon. Saturn is retrograding back into your 7th house. This is where you're concluding old karmas, old contracts, old agreements, so that you can begin anew in the sign of Aries, your 8th house. The 7th house is an angle house, and when an angle house is activated, it can absolutely change your entire life, because the whole chart is activated. All the angles are also highlighted. The 7th house rules over committed relationships like marriage, a business partnership, anything that you do with another person, a sexual relationship, any type of exchange, an intimate relationship, business. This is somewhat of a public place also, because people see who you're dealing with. People see your business dealings, especially if you're in the sales business. Jupiter is currently transiting the sign of Cancer in your 11th house. This is a very fortunate house. It's a manifesting house. This is the house that rewards all the work that you did in the 10th house, and you're going to see this manifestation through one of your friends, your elder sibling, your uncle, your auntie, a benefactor, or you're just naturally going to be promoted or receive some kind of reward, accolade or some type of recognition among your peers. Jupiter is trying to bless you in this area for something that you have been trying to manifest for a very, very long time. This is the place where your wishes, your hopes and dreams manifest. This is where they come true. This is a wonderful opportunity for you Virgos. If you've been wanting to get married, Jupiter is going to give you that blessing and Saturn is going to make it real. And for most people, this could be a marriage that will last for many, many years. If it's a business agreement, a contract that you are seeking, Jupiter is also going to be able to make that happen, and Saturn will make it real. If you've been dating someone for a very long time, this is the time that you're probably going to get a marriage proposal, or you're going to be the one proposing to your partner. If you've been single and looking for someone, a serious person, someone to be in a relationship that could lead to a commitment like marriage, some of you are going to manifest that person before this transit is over. Before Saturn leaves the sign of Pisces, your 7th house, you could manifest a marriage or a business partnership. While some of you could just have some of the things that you've been working hard on just magically happen. You'll have so many aspects that are working in your favor. Even though you're going to be dealing with some type of opposition from other people, you still have a lot of things working in your favor, because Virgo sextiles the sign of Cancer. So if you put in effort towards the things that you want to make real, the sextile aspect will help you achieve this, but you have to take action. You have to be willing to deal with the other person across from you, the Saturn person who's demanding that things be real. Perhaps you are the person demanding that things become real. So whatever it is that you're trying to manifest, Virgo, you have to fight for it. You have to take action, and nothing is going to happen without you taking action, you dealing with another person. Let's also remember that you have the South Node transiting your sign, meaning there's a certain aspect of you that you have to let go of, whatever this rules in your sign. Ergo, this is very complex because there's a lot of things that are being activated in your chart, and the only way to find out is through a professional astrology reading. I suggest that you take advantage of my discounts, $30 off of 2 separate readings. This is a limited time offer. Please book now. Libra ascendant, sun or moon. This transit is happening in your 6th house. This is where Saturn is retrograding in order to complete old karmas and help you manifest that something that you've been working on for several years, 14 years, and for some of you perhaps 29.5 years. Saturn will give you a gift in this area before he moves on to the next sign of Aries in February 2026. The 6th house is a very karmic house. It rules over the debt and expenses that we incur as we live and exist on this earth as a human being. And this is why this house rules over rentals. We have to pay rent to live somewhere, or perhaps a mortgage. This is not a free existence. We have to pay for our food. We have to pay for everything that we use on a daily basis. And this is why this house rules over our daily routine, our food intake, that's our diet of course, and also our exercise regimen. It also rules over our medications that we take every day, hence ruling our health. But this house also rules over our pets. We have to take care of our pets on a daily basis, at least the ones that take good care of their pets. The 6th house rules over the work that we do. It also rules over our co-workers and our work environment. This is a house where we kind of have to put some effort. It's a house where we fight. Waking up every day to go to work is not a very easy task. So this house is ruling over things that we really truly have to be fully present in order to manifest anything. We have to do something in this area. Jupiter is currently transiting our 10th house. 10th house is an angle house. This means that it could bring massive changes, because when an angle house is activated, it activates all the other angles in your chart. This means that your life is about to take on a very, very huge, important change that you're going to remember or carry on with for the next 30 years. especially with an angle house being activated and a house of karmic debt also being activated. The 10th house rules over our public standing, the government, our authority figures, our bosses, the work that you do, or anything that you're known for. Your marital status could change. Some of you could marry a co-worker or go into a contract of starting a new business with a co-worker, or you could just take all the knowledge that you've had from a previous job and take it publicly in a different way. If you've been experiencing some problems in your work area, perhaps you initiated a lawsuit some years ago, this could be the time that this lawsuit is positively concluded in your favor and it's known by the public. Perhaps you get a big judgment. And for some of you who've been wanting to start your own business, this could be the time that Jupiter blesses you with in the public arena, and because of your hard work you're able to initiate this new business, a new career. You're going to be known for something that you do. And if you've been sick, experiencing some kind of chronic disease, this could be the time that some of you get approved for insurance or perhaps some type of medication, or if you had applied for a disability, this could be the time that you are approved for that. I said earlier, Cancer is an angle house, so that means that it's squaring your sign. This means that Libra is going to need to take action. You're possibly going to be pushed into taking action in order to take advantage of this beautiful trine aspect that is happening in your 10th and 6th houses. Perhaps this square is exactly what you needed, especially if you've been procrastinating on making initiations. Unfortunately for some of you, if your pet has been ill, this could also be the time that they're exiting, and perhaps they were suffering, so this could be a blessed exit. Some of you could attract a pet into your life and it's going to feel very karmic, destined and fated. It could be a pet that you've had in a past lifetime. While some of you could manifest the job of your dreams. Perhaps you've been trying to get into a certain firm for a while. You applied before and they denied you, but you push yourself and you put in your application again and you surprisingly get hired. So for those who are unemployed, this is an excellent time from now until the end of the year for you to go job hunting and make a lot of applications and go for as many interviews as possible. That dream job is out there waiting for you. And if you're sick, this transit is going to bring some type of immaculate magical healing, as long as you take action to go and seek that healing, take the medication, go and get treatment. Libra, if you're one of those people who are extremely overweight or you've been overweight your entire life, Saturn transiting your 6th house can help you have the strength to do strength training. Be committed to exercise or some type of diet, some type of restricting diet. This could be the time that you're seeing the results of your hard work. Some of you could be losing massive weight. If you needed to lose perhaps 100 pounds, 120 pounds, Saturn will bring you that specific diet that works for you finally, so that you can lose the weight and transform your life. And for those also who went on a specific restricting type of diet, perhaps in order to change some type of health condition, you will be reaping the results of your hard work. 6th house is very vast and complicated, as it rules over a lot of things that we do on a daily basis, and I don't know what this trine aspect is doing specifically in your chart in order for me to tell you how it's going to manifest for you. The only way to find out is by getting a professional astrology reading. I suggest that you take advantage of my discount, $30 off 2 different readings. This is a limited time offer, so book now. Scorpio ascendant, sun or moon. Saturn is currently retrograding into your 5th house. This is the area where you're concluding old karmas. This is also the area where Saturn is going to bless you. He's going to leave a gift for you. Scorpio, we are highly blessed by this transit because your ascendant, sun or moon, or whatever you do have in Scorpio at around 23 to 30 degrees is going to receive a grand trine, a grand water trine, which is highly magical and spiritual. If you didn't listen to the beginning of the video, the introduction, I suggest that you go back and listen to the entire introduction, because this is absolutely epic. It's life-changing. It absolutely changed my life 30 years ago when this transit happened, with Jupiter being in the sign of Scorpio, our sign, and with Saturn transiting the sign of Pisces. Trust me, it's worth a listen. The fifth house is a lucky house. It rules over luck. Luck that we inherited because of a deed or deeds that we did in a past life or early in our life. This is luck that we don't have to work for. It's just activated by transits, and especially by karmic transits, which will help you reap what you've sown. And since this is a lucky house and a karmic house, it's most likely very positive, and especially also because of the grand trine aspect that is being activated as a result of this trine aspect from Jupiter in the sign of Cancer, which is your ninth house. The ninth house is another house of luck. So you're getting two luck houses activated by karmic planets, planets that don't transit these areas for decades, many years. Jupiter in Cancer takes 12 years. So go back to 12 years ago when Jupiter activated this area. I believe that was in 2013. That was not a really good transit. The best one that I remember was previous time Jupiter was in the sign of Cancer was in 2001. That was a really positive transit, because that was when Jupiter and Venus conjuncted. It was an absolutely amazing transit. So if you can go back to that one for reference. And then for Saturn, the last time was in 1994, 29 and a half years ago. So if you were not alive then, ask your parents or whoever is older. They'll let you know what was transpiring in your life. It definitely impacted you, even if you were a baby. But if you were not, that was a transforming transit at that time, and it's back. We're here to set our foundation for the next 29 and a half years. This is a really important transit. Ninth house rules over our future. We're going to use the luck that we earned, that we worked for in a past life from Saturn in Pisces, to elevate ourselves through the sign of Cancer that rules over our ninth house, our future. And it's looking really pretty. It's looking bright. Of course, it all depends on all the other things that are going on in your chart, and this is why I always insist, get a professional astrology reading so that you can know what is being activated in your natal birth chart. I suggest that you take advantage of the $30 off of readings that I'm having. You can use this coupon twice. It's a limited time offer, so book now. Let's go back to what could possibly happen for you, Scorpio. If you've had an ongoing lawsuit that could have lasted several years, this lawsuit could have something to do with something that began in 1994, 2007, and perhaps even 2023. It's very likely that this lawsuit is going to be concluded in your favor. This is because Jupiter is exalted in the sign of Cancer, trining a lucky house, trining Saturn, your fifth house, the house of luck. Jupiter is instructing Saturn what to do, because Saturn is transiting Jupiter's house. This is actually much bigger than it was 29 and a half years ago because of Jupiter's exaltation. Jupiter-Saturn trine in these two houses is epic. It's bigger than it was 29 and a half years ago. And this is simply because Jupiter was not exalted in the sign of Scorpio. He does really well in the sign of Scorpio, but of course, he's much more magical in the sign of Cancer. This is the house of his exaltation. And the fact that Jupiter is the one who is instructing Saturn on what to do. Jupiter is giving Saturn orders. Saturn is transiting Pisces. Pisces is ruled by Jupiter. So magic is set to happen. Manifestation is set to transpire. As a result of this trine aspect. The ninth house rules over anything that we legalize. So if you've been going to college or uni, this is the time that you're going to manifest that degree. You're going to complete that degree with honors, and this could be this degree could lead you to your future, your new life, a new job. And some of you could be getting this new beginning in a foreign land, because the ninth house does rule over foreign lands as well. You could have a new beginning with a lover or with one of your children, because the fifth house does rule over children, our creative ability. It rules over romance. It rules over our small businesses. So some of you could be legalizing a small business at this time. And some of you could be starting a new business in a foreign country, while others of you could be taking a romantic relationship to the next level, as in getting legally married. For some of you, because you get legally married, you'll be able to attain a green card, or perhaps a green card and citizenship in whatever foreign land that you move to. Scorpio, if you've been trying to get pregnant and it hasn't really worked out for you, perhaps you've met with some blockage or challenges, this transit is going to give you a blessing, as in form of a positive pregnancy, a child. And if you've been wanting to date someone for a long time and they've been unavailable, that person could suddenly become available, and you will begin a whirlwind romance that could possibly lead to something much bigger than you think. This literally did happen for me. A former lover is the one that suddenly called me up and asked me to join him abroad. This literally changed my whole life. Some type of blessing could come through a former lover, because Saturn is bringing up old karmic relationships that you may have had with people in a past life or earlier in your life. You're going to have some type of encounter with these people, and there will be some type of hidden blessing there. Scorpio, this transit is huge for us. So the only way I can really give you more juice is through a personal reading. Sagittarius, ascendant, sun, or moon. Saturn is currently retrograding in Pisces, your fourth house. This is where you're completing old karmas, and this is also where Saturn is going to help you manifest something that you've been working on for a very long time, for many years, before he moves back into the sign of Aries in February 2026. The fourth house is an angle house. So this means that when this house is activated, this angle is activated, it activates all the other angles in your chart. Your life could change suddenly and drastically. Sagittarius squares the sign of Pisces. This is a challenging aspect that's going to push you into taking action. However, Jupiter is your ruler, and your ruler is exalted in the sign of Cancer, where he's transiting, and also Jupiter is the one who is instructing Saturn on what to do in your fourth house, because he rules the sign of Pisces. So however this works out, is going to work out in your favor, as long as you listen to the things that you need to listen to and take appropriate action. The square aspect is a challenging aspect and pushes you into taking action. For some people, this is exactly what they need, especially if you've been procrastinating. The fourth house is also a karmic house. It's a house of endings. It's a house of our past ancestors. This house rules over our home, our family, our homeland, the country where you were born in. It also rules over our deep resentments towards our ancestry, our mother, or our family. This is an area where we're truly vulnerable. This is an area where we're truly naked. This is the house which also rules over endings. And the house that is also being triggered, Jupiter is currently transiting your 8th house. This is also a deep house. This house rules over things that are hidden, our secrets, other people's secrets, secrets that we even keep from ourselves. This is a psychological house. It's a house of death, sex, taxes, endings. It's a house of transformation. So you're definitely going to have some type of deep transformation as a result of this trine aspect. The 8th house also rules over other people's money, like inheritances, taxes, financial windfalls like from lotteries or some other gain. This is money that we don't work for. This is money that we just get from other people. It's other people's money. This is also the house of deep bonding and intimacy, the house of shared resources. It could be that some of you have been going through some type of separation or a divorce. This could be the time that your divorce is finalized and you get a good amount on alimony, or you get to keep your money, whichever your situation is. I don't know. If you've been wanting to bring a relationship to the next level, this is the transit that could have you move in with your lover and start sharing resources and benefiting from those shared resources. For others, it could be that you have a death in the family, and because of that death, you get an inheritance. For others, it could be the time of concluding old contracts and old disagreements, or perhaps you have a lawsuit that gets concluded at this time. And since the activation is coming from your fourth house, the things that some of these things could include your ancestors or your family. Perhaps it's your grandmother that is going to be passing and she leaves you an inheritance. And for other people, it could be a blessed passing of an old parent, or a parent that has been suffering. They've been ill and this is the time that they are transitioning, and as a result of them transitioning, you get an inheritance, other people's money that is going to absolutely transform your land. And perhaps some of you are going to decide to take this money to move to a foreign land, or perhaps some of you will be getting this financial windfall because you're going to sell an old family home. If you've been wanting to buy a new property, a new home, Saturn is going to make that real. If you've been wanting to move to a foreign country and start a new life there, Saturn could also give you a new home in a foreign country. Jupiter is your ruler and he's exalted. So as long as you take action in the right direction, Jupiter is going to bless you, expand your transformations in the 8th house and the 4th house. So if you'd like to know how this is going to impact you personally, I suggest that you take advantage of the special discount that I have going on, $30 off of at least 2 readings. It's a limited time offer. Book now. Capricorn ascendant, sun or moon. Saturn is retrograding into the sign of Pisces, your 3rd house. This is where you are completing old karmas. This is where Saturn is going to give you a gift. Saturn wants to manifest something that you've been working on for many years. Saturn wants to bless you with a gift before he leaves this sign and enters into the sign of Aries, where you're going to begin anew. The 3rd house rules over our immediate environment. It rules over gadgets that we use to get by every day, our computers, our phones, our vehicles that we use to drive around our neighborhood, which the 3rd house also rules. It rules our neighbors, our siblings, our basic education. It also rules over our thought process, our mind, and our speech, and also writing. So when you look around your environment, what you're making contact with on a daily basis, that is your 3rd house. And this is the area where you're going to get that manifestation. So if you've been in trade school or some other type of school trying to learn a skill, perhaps a new language, or something that you need in order to get some type of elevation at your job because you've learned a new skill, this could be the time that you're completing that course and you're finally ready to go and use these new skills. Others of you, it could be something that you've been working on with a neighbor in your neighborhood or with one of your siblings. There could be something that is blessed that happens with your siblings. Perhaps you're going to decide to begin a new business with a sibling in your neighborhood. And for others, if you have some kind of karma that has been going on with a sibling, this could be the time that this karma is concluded. And it all depends on how this aspect is operating in your own personal chart, what planets is aspecting. Of course, remember to keep the degrees that are activated in mind when you're evaluating your own natal birth chart. It will aspect all the other angles in your chart. This could absolutely change your entire life, your entire foundation. Capricorn opposes the sign of Cancer. This means that you could be dealing with others who are most likely going to be opposing you. However, Saturn is your ruling planet, so you have some power here. You have a lot of say here, especially because Capricorn does actually sextile the sign of Pisces. Pisces and Capricorn form a sextile aspect, and the sextile aspect is going to bring you opportunities in order for you to be able to take advantage of this trine aspect. Saturn is going to help you to find the correct speech, the correct things to say to the other person in order to manifest something in this area. Jupiter is the planet that is going to give you what you want. This means that you're going to be getting what you want through others, from others. Some people will meet somebody who brings blessings in their life, a Jupiterian person. A Jupiterian person who is most likely wealthy, somebody who's going to bring blessings in your life and improve your life, improve your immediate environment. So remember that you have to literally say something, deal with others, speak your mind, speak your truth to others in business dealings, in marriage dealings. Ask for what you want. The universe is listening. God is listening, or whoever it is that you hold in high esteem, they're listening to you now and they're wanting to bless you at this time. This is the time for you to start working towards that manifestation. If you were looking for a partner, or if you're looking for a marriage type of situation or a business partner, look within your immediate environment, in your neighborhood. Start hanging out in your local cafe. Go to your local library. The person that you're looking for is in these areas. Capricorn, this is an excellent transit. I think it's going to bring absolutely magical manifestation. Speak it to the universe. Ask it from the universe, or whatever higher entity that you believe in, God or Allah, whatever you believe in. Speak out what you need. This trine aspect is going to help you manifest it. The third house is a house where we have to take action. We have to make an effort. We have to do something in order to achieve what we want. So you can't just sit back and hope something is just going to fall into your lap. You have to get out there. You have to mingle. You have to speak up. You have to go for it. If you need help and further guidance, I suggest that you take advantage of the $30 off discount off of the readings. You can use this code twice on 2 readings. It's a limited time offer, so book now. Aquarius, ascendant, sun or moon. Saturn is currently retrograding in the sign of Pisces, your second house. This is where he's concluding old karmas. This is also the area where he's going to help you manifest something real. He's going to leave you a gift in this area. The second house rules over what we love and value. It rules over our earning ability, our money, our family. Not the family that you were born into, but the family that you make with another person, like a spouse, a lover. It can also be a friend that you've had in your life for a very long time that they begin to feel like family. Let's look at where Jupiter is currently transiting. Jupiter is currently transiting your 6th house, Cancer, where he is exalted. The 6th house rules over our daily routine, how we live our life on a daily basis, your diet, your exercise regimen, your work, your co-workers. This is a house where we also fight, because getting up to do a job on a daily basis is not exactly an easy thing. And for some of you whose health has not been doing so great, Jupiter could expand that health problem. But if you take action and do something to heal yourself, Jupiter could help you heal that illness or that chronic disease. If you've been wanting to lose weight, Jupiter here could also help you. Perhaps you decide to start working out, going to the gym, changing your diet. He will expand those good habits. Jupiter expands wherever it touches, It could be negative or positive, and this truly depends on what else is going on in your natal birth chart. What else is Jupiter aspecting is how I can tell if it's positive or negative. But the trine aspect to Saturn is very positive. So I'm going to bet some of you are actually going to get healing and are actually going to be able to lose massive amounts of weight due to the big changes that you're going to make in your lifestyle. This can also be seen through Saturn transiting your second house. The second house also rules over the mouth, what you put in and what comes out of the mouth, and perhaps the nose, what you put in the nose, hopefully not, and yeah, possibly what comes out of the nose if you're experiencing allergies. But if you're doing the other stuff, Saturn could help you stop doing the other stuff that is possibly not very good for you. Saturn could also help you restrict your diet so that you can lose weight, or perhaps change a health condition. And Jupiter with Saturn working together, they could bring about a very positive health manifestation. And for others, this could play out within your family. If you've been trying to change certain behaviors or things within your family, diet of the entire family or exercise regimen, Jupiter and Saturn are working together to help you manifest this better way of eating and living and exercising, thus improving your health. The second house ruling our earning ability. Some of you could manifest a high-paying job, higher earnings that are going to help your life, how you exist. It'll also improve the relations in your family and your self-esteem, because now you're able to provide for your family. For those who've had an ongoing lawsuit that has to do with maybe property or something that they own, or something to do with someone in your family, this could be the time that that good lawyer, that Jupiterian lawyer in the sixth house that's been fighting for you, finally gets a ruling for you, a good financial ruling that is going to transform your life and the lives of your family members. Or perhaps also give you an opportunity to start a new business, a new way of earning a living and providing for your family. Saturn is one of your ruling planets. Saturn is currently transiting your second house and somewhat restricting your money. Perhaps you're saving to buy a house, and it's going to take a lot of effort and hard work for you to save this money, but Jupiter is helping you do it by providing you a lot of work. When Jupiter transits our sixth house, we tend to have a lot of work. We tend to get really busy, especially if it's your own business. You are dedicated to this work in order to earn more money so that you can save the money in order to buy a property or something that is of high value. Aquarius, this is a huge transit. It's epic, and you're directly involved here because you're ruled by Saturn. The only way to find out how this transit is going to truly affect you according to your placements is through a professional astrology reading. I highly suggest that you take advantage of the $30 off of readings. You can use this coupon twice. It's a limited time offer, so book now. Pisces ascendant, sun or moon. Saturn is currently retrograding in Pisces, your sign. This is where you're concluding old karmas, karmic debts. This is also the area where you can manifest something that you've been working on for several years, 14 years, or perhaps even 29 years. Old karmas are being concluded here so that you can begin anew in the sign of Aries when Saturn goes into Aries in February 2026. The first house is an angle house, and when an angle house is activated, it activates all the other angles in your chart. This means that your entire life could change because of this activation. You are receiving the conjunction. The conjunction is the most potent aspect in astrology. This aspect is going to affect you personally and intimately. When the ascendant is activated, it activates the opposite sign, so you are dealing with another person. The other two reasons why this transit is life-changing for you, Pisces, is that the North Node is currently transiting your sign. The last time the North Node was in your sign was 18.5 years ago. That is a karmic cycle. And when the North Node is in our sign, it pushes us to take charge of our life. When the North Node is in your sign, this is your chance to be absolutely selfish. I tell most of my clients, especially my Pisces ascendant clients, this is your chance to be selfish. This is your chance to choose you in whatever situation that is going on in your life. If you're confused about a choice, whether be it your partner, your family, your boss, always choose you, because when you choose you, everybody else gets helped out as a result of you choosing you. Trust me on this one, especially if you also have the North Node in the sign of Pisces. This is your nodal return, and with Saturn in your sign, Saturn is asking you to get serious about your choices and about your identity and how other people see you. One of the things you can take advantage of with this Saturn transit to your first house is weight loss. If you've been wanting to lose weight for a long time and it seemed impossible, you could lose a lot of weight, massive weight, by doing a restrictive diet or by exercising consistently. Get committed to going to the gym and exercising and lifting weights and restricting your diet. This is going to help you lose weight. Restrict yourself from some of the pleasures that you've been indulging in for the past years to get to where you are. The last time Saturn was in your sign was 29.5 years ago. That is also another karmic cycle. Saturn rules the boundaries. It also rules the bones. It's an excellent time for you to pay attention to your skin. Start a skincare regimen. If you've never used moisturizer or anti-aging, this is an excellent time for you to start those treatments. Jupiter, your ruling planet, is transiting Cancer, where he's exalted. Cancer is your 5th house. It's a lucky house. It's a house that rules over luck that we earned in a past life, good deeds that we did for someone else in a past life or earlier in our life. This luck is now being activated by Jupiter, your ruler. He's exalted here. Jupiter is also instructing Saturn, who's transiting Pisces, your house, on what to do. So basically, you are the one with the power. You are instructing yourself, your higher self perhaps, what to do in order to manifest something for yourself, for you, not other people, for you. It could have something to do with your children or a romantic partner, a business that you may have started, because the 5th house rules over all those things. Perhaps you are deciding that you're going to start a whirlwind type of romance that is going to change how other people see you, or you're going to start allowing yourself some joy, entertaining yourself, going on vacations, falling in love. And for some of you, it could be that you decide that you're going to get pregnant, have a child. Some of you will get pregnant and have children have children as a result of this trine aspect, especially if it's been something that has been a bit difficult for you to manifest. Pisces, there are a lot of things that are being activated. I'm going to suggest that you listen to the whole introduction of this video, because you're going to truly understand what is going on, because I speak about some of my experiences and what Jupiter and Saturn trine was able to do for me when it happened 30 years ago, and also when the nodes were also transiting Pisces, your sign. There was an activation there. And let's also remember that the degree that Jupiter is retrograding to is an eclipse degree, so he's going to activate that degree. This transit is absolutely loaded. A lot of change could come as a result of this magical trine aspect, and the only way you're going to find out how this is impacting your chart is through a professional astrology reading. I suggest that you book a reading with me at rachel-mayo.com. take advantage of the $30 discount I have on readings. You can use this coupon twice.